Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jacks, and I'm so glad that you're here. I had some funny moments yesterday after recording yesterday's podcast because yesterday's episode was all about not trying to be perfect and how trying to be perfect gets in the way of greatness. And yesterday, I ended up spending some time with family. My mom and I went and we donated blood. It was her first time, and I loved seeing her try something new and the excitement on her face that all her life she couldn't donate blood, and now she finally can. And seeing her able to do that was a lot of fun. So we went together, and then we ended up having lunch with my aunt, cousin, and uncle, and my sister and her husband, and my nephew. And it just turned into this really beautiful experience, this really beautiful day. I remember coming home, and admittedly, I was feeling a little bit weaker, and I mean physically. Like, they did take a pint of blood, and so I say it's because of that. And also, I think it had to do with the fact that last week, I really pushed myself mentally. I pushed myself for 6-7 days in a row, and I didn't really give myself much of a break on Sunday. And I was expecting to come home yesterday and get some work done, and it just did not happen. I was in this self-preservation mode, and I started to feel some guilt and some shame about it. Like, I knew no one could see me. I knew no one was looking at me because I was by myself. But it was one of those things like I saw myself. I can't run away from myself. I can't run away from how I perceive myself because I'm with myself 24/7. And so I was looking at how I was spending my night. I ended up watching a movie and just resting. And as I was starting to feel that different combination of guilt and shame, I actually started laughing because I remembered yesterday's episode. And I said, wow, I'm really out here trying to be perfect. Truly. I made an episode a little while back all about discipline and how I'm creating this discipline for myself. And so I was going back and forth like, oh, I'm breaking the discipline. That's going to make it easier to break next time. And then I just kind of sat and I thought, and I was like, perfection does get in the way of greatness. I've always been somewhat of an all or nothing thinker and doer. It's either I would start a new activity, start a new skill, start a new habit, going all in. And if I couldn't do it all in, I wouldn't do it at all. And I think that's where a fear sprung up for me yesterday, that I thought that this was going to be the end. As soon as I made this first negotiation or I slipped up this one time, it would be over. And then something new clicked. And it was this idea of, rather than looking at my disciplines as a streak and saying, I've done this for 45 days in a row, I started looking at it as the streak restarting every single day. And in a way, it's a new day, it's a new start, but it's the same discipline. I don't ask myself if I should do it, if I should take that cold shower, if I should eat healthy, if I should go on the walk, because the discipline is I will take the cold shower, I will cook for myself, I will go on that walk, I will exercise. And if something happens and I don't let that completely torpedo everything that I've worked to create. If you've been listening to the past few episodes, what I'm seeing in myself now is active growth. You are actively seeing me and hearing me try new things, collect experiences, and grow from them. That kind of reminds me of this whole idea that some people may think that people can't change, that we will always be who we are. And it's easy to think that way, especially about celebrities or public figures, because we don't truly know who they are or what they're going through. We just see this persona that they put on. To a degree, I think we all have a persona that we put on all the time. And so I guess part of my persona, the one that I put on here, is being someone that's all right with being wrong and needing to change and getting to change and showing that I'm growing and showing that I'm changing, that I'm evolving. Because even as I say all this now, I get this strong sense that I'm still wrong, that I still don't have it right. I don't have it figured out. The relationship between perfection and greatness and discipline and action, I don't quite have it. And instead of trying to sit here and think through it, I'm acting through it. Through my actions, I learn. When it comes to my disciplines, it's not so much as how many times did I not follow through with this. It's more so the line that comes into my head that says it's a discipline, not a decision. No negotiations. When I say no negotiations, it's not no negotiations ever. as in the past. It just means no negotiations in that moment. And the reason that's important to me, because I think in a discipline, you are making a decision. It's a daily decision to be disciplined. You're not deciding what you're going to be disciplined about, but every single day you're deciding to be disciplined. Every day I wake up and I have a choice. And that choice is, do I practice the value of discipline or not? And every single day I wake up and say yes. And because of that, things like taking a cold shower, freezing cold, cooking for myself to make sure that I'm putting the right nutrients into my body, reading 30 minutes before bed, no matter what, no matter how late I am to go to bed, tracking my habits, and so much more. Those things just become easy because I've decided in the morning that I am disciplined and I do those things. And I acknowledge that sometimes I'm going to be in a weaker state of mind. Circumstances, life, it has the ability to wear you down. It has the ability to wear me down. As much as health is my number one value, health and energy, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't take perfect care of myself, not in preparation for donating blood, because I worked myself to the bone for the week beforehand. Yes, I was eating well and I was drinking lots of water, so physically I was prepared, but mentally I wasn't. And so when I walked out of there, I had to deal with the consequences that it was my responsibility to take care of myself. I didn't do it perfectly. I did it as best as I knew how. And so whatever came after that was as a result of that. I now know that the next time I donate blood, to maybe take it easy the day before or the 2 days before. Maybe be mentally prepared that I'm going to feel a little bit sluggish afterwards. Maybe plan it out so that I do work in the morning, when I still have the blood, and then I go and donate it and let my night be more relaxed, more mellow. Spend that with family. I love learning and growing. I truly do. Honestly, with this podcast and me actively learning, it's more so I'm just spitballing ideas sometimes. I play them back for myself and I listen, and maybe I'll journal here and there, write on a post-it note, write on a note card, whatever it is. And then I'll practice a few things. I'll put it into my calendar. I'll put it onto my habit tracker. See what works, see what doesn't. And I talked about it before. Every week I do my weekly meeting. I do 2 weekly meetings. One for my business and one for my life. And so every single week I get to decide, okay, these are the things that I came up with this week. What do I want to add? What didn't work? What did work? Let's just keep improving a little bit at a time. Because when I follow a pattern like this, and I have a small improvement 52 times at least out of the year, by next New Year's, I'm going to be unrecognizable. When 2026 rolls around, and it's going to before we know it, I know that I'll have grown so much in ways that I had no idea were possible. There's going to be challenges, there's going to be happy moments, fun moments, scary moments. There's going to be opportunities, there's going to be gifts, there's going to be blessings, there's going to be people, and then there's going to be moments of solitude. In no way, shape, or form is this going to be an easy year. And because of that, it's going to be worth it. It's already worth it. We're a month and a half in, if you could believe it already. This is episode 49. It's 49 days out of the year that have already gone by. Yeah, we still have over 300, but you know as well as I that at some point, I'm going to be giving out some numbers like, all right, this is episode 100, or this is episode 150, or this is episode 300. We only have a few more days left to go in the year. And when I grow every single day, I feel immense love and gratitude and appreciation for myself, for this path I'm on, for the people that are around me, for all the blessings that I have. Today I was doing my meditation and I just sat with myself and really listened to my heart, really listened to my head, noticed that my head was sprouting a couple fears, and very quickly addressed those fears and said, is this coming from the king or is this coming from a scared version of the king? And being in touch with the lover and the magician and the warrior, all of us were able to come together and just look at those fears, see where they were coming from, give them the space. Because I talk a lot about changing how I feel and changing state and changing the words I use and all of this stuff. But I also acknowledge that the different emotions I feel exist. That in order to have to change into a peak state, there have to be moments where I'm not in a peak state. And those exist often enough, should I say. I don't know. Today's just one of those days where I look at what's to come and I'm just reminded that I need to have faith. Because those fears that are coming up have to do with what's going to happen in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. Specifically, what's going to happen to me? What am I going to have to do? There's a lot of uncertainty. I just have to have faith, have belief that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be. I'm at the exact point in my journey that I'm supposed to be at. I'm not supposed to be any further ahead or any farther back. And because we're growing every single day, we don't have to stay where we are. We don't. This is only a snapshot of our lives, a moment in time. You can't change the past, but you have extreme influence over the future. Truly, you can make so much happen in your life. As soon as you look at the past that is like a movie, and you look at your present that's like a snapshot, and now you get to look into the future and go and create something. Create your life. If you don't like your past, why are you drawn to relive it in the future? If you don't like your past, how much are you doing to change your future? If it's a job or a relationship that you don't like, for how much longer are you going to repeat the same movie in the future? I guess that's a decision I made a while back, which was that I was not happy with my movie. I wasn't happy with this snapshot, but I could change my future. I could change the movies going forward, make these the best damn sequels of my life. Step by step, that's what it is. Step by step learning, step by step growing, step by step taking action. One day we'll reach the end of our lives. I'll reach the final episode of this podcast, and that's when we get to really take a look at our movie. So I'm going to make sure it's the best damn movie anybody's ever seen. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope something stuck with you today. Of all days, I hope there's at least one line that rang true for you today and every day. Remember, fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.